Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another toy review, and today we're taking a look at the Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Iron Man. And before I move on, you're probably thinking, whoa, 20th anniversary? And it's like, yeah, kind of, sort of, not really. It's pretty obvious this figure is meant to kind of pay homage to, like, the first wave of figures that came out when Marvel Legends first began back in 2002. And that was when Toy Biz was pretty much in charge of the whole thing. This was, like, way before Hasbro. So basically, now they've decided to kind of, well, not re-release, but basically remake those classic first wave figures with, like, like the modern, like, retooling and all that. Basically like an upgrade. Except, I mean, it goes 50-50. Understandably, those were like classic figures, so I get it. It's not gonna exactly hit that nostalgia, but does a pretty decent job. I definitely see what Hasbro is trying to do here, especially with this figure. And just to kind of clarify, if I remember correctly, the first wave of those figures that came out back in 2002, they consisted of course, Iron Man, and then there was Hulk, Captain America, Toad, and I think Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, but I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. And in case you're wondering, yes, all of those figures eventually did get remade, and I just so happens to have two of them. I have Iron Man and I have Hulk, and I'm definitely gonna at least try and get the other ones, but they are kind of hard to come by. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the figure. Of course, this is supposed to sort of semi be kind of like Iron Man's classic look. It's hard to really say. It's not exactly like how he looks like in the comics because this version of him is kind of one of those figures where it's like most of his suits look the same except there was always something slightly different. So this is sort of based off of one of his suits. Can't really say exactly what mark it is. I mean, even on the figure itself, it's just called 20th Anniversary Iron Man. There's no particular like name for it, so I guess just to kind of clear up the confusion. I mean, the sculpting looks really nice though. I like it a lot. I mean, these are his classic colors for the most part. And I like the way it looks clean too. I like to kind of mention that if my camera could focus a little bit more. See how like smooth everything is. It kind of matches that classic look without a doubt. Not necessarily, sorry, not necessarily like the original figure, but just mostly how Iron Man, obviously, like when he wears his suits, they always had that kind of like solid look to it. I like, whoa, shiny, kind of shiny. It's not that shiny though. It's not that kind of paint. uh, you know. I also like some of the darkness within some of the parts too. Like I love how you can find some detail within the red, but like there's pretty much nothing in the yellow parts. It's just like one color, and that's like a can't really say what kind of yellow it is. For some odd reason on my camera, it's kind of showing it slightly different, but if you have to figure on hand, it's like a slightly tinted yellow, but not exactly. It's hard to really say it. This is definitely one of those figures where you need to have it on hand to kind of get an idea. And of course, here's the bottom of the feet. Just to kind of. And I'm not exactly sure which came first. I'm not really good with years. But I know that there was hold on, let me fix this camera. There we go, much better. So I'm not really sure what came first. I know that there was also the Marvel's 80th anniversary Iron Man figure that they did, and like I say, I don't know which came first, this figure or that one, but I know some of the sculpt was reuse. But obviously, you would have never known if I didn't tell you that, because to me, this looks like something completely brand new, without a doubt. I mean, of course, the helmet is obviously going to be different, and we can see some of the articulation right there. His art, everything about him is pretty base for the most part. You get the double jointed elbows of some nice posability. You can kind of make him like kind of punch if you want to. He looks really cool, honestly. Like this is the type of figure that you really want doubles, especially with the accessories. I'm gonna talk about the accessories in a sec. I just have to show off the figure, just how amazing that is. Look at that iron ass. You got the back. You kind of got that ab crunch. It kind of goes that far down, and it could go that far up, which is good. And of course, the head. There we go. We could go that far, and I wanted to show that off. Come on, focus, focus. Come on, there, yeah, there you go. You see how cool that is? For his nice flying pose. However you want to make it, it really doesn't matter. There's no real way, right way or wrong way of doing it, but it does look really cool. And then of course you got the feet. Uh, sorry. Anyway, and it's kind of, yeah, it's weird. Some parts are pretty tight. Some of it not as much. I just thought I kind of tell you guys because wasn't expecting to have some issues posing with them. But there's nothing bad. It's not like super duper tight. You know what I mean? It's not bad to where like it's hard to move the figure around. As you can see, he looks pretty good when he's in a pose. Honestly, he kind of reminds me a little bit of that classic Toy Biz version, without a doubt. I could kind of see it now, which is ironic because the Toy Biz figures during those days, they have like that weird like ball within like the arms and legs, and I've always hated that. I'm like, oh. And yeah, there has been a couple of times where with recent figures we have seen that. Not as much, thankfully. I just thought I'd kind of point that out because when you compare this version and the original version from 2002, it is drastically different. And unfortunately, I don't have the original because, I mean, well, I was born in 2001, okay? There was no way I was going to have those Marvel Legends figures at such a young age. So, I guess now that we're done playing around with the figure, honestly, like, I'm, like, obsessed with it. I never thought, like, how much fun it is just to kind of go over everything. Also, I guess one really quick thing before I talk about the accessories is the chest piece. I can't really tell if it's, like, a sticker. It kind of looks like it's a little bit out of place. I mean, I guess from far away you don't notice it. I'm not too sure. I don't want to mess with it. I mean, the amount of times I've touched it, nothing really happens. So, I just thought I'd kind of point that out. Yeah. Oh, I almost forgot to talk about this too. The weird like arm movement. Kind of has like that weird kind of ratchet feel to it. I'm not exactly sure if that's the proper name for it. I just thought I'd kind of let you guys know. Just you kind of had a little bit, see a little bit of a push. At least it doesn't break the figure or anything. I just thought I'd kind of point that out. Before I go over the accessories, let me at least put them in a nice pose because sometimes on my shelf, I don't know if I want to pose him with the blast effects or if just him like kind of standing there all proud and all that. Look at good old Tony hiding all that dark emotions behind that mask. Well, helmet, but you get the idea. Anyway, let's get to the accessories. So as you can see here, Iron Man comes with a whole ton of accessories, which is really, really nice. I want to say like, if you don't count this, I want to say like 8 accessories. But if you do count it, 9, whatever. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. So we got like the hands that you can use for the blast effect pieces. You have the smoke effect pieces too. They're in this nice kind of black. They're also somewhat translucent, so you could kind of see right through them, but not too much. He does come with an alternate head, which is pretty cool. See, it's good to get some nice variety, and it has that kind of classic look. And in case you're wondering, wait, why is his hair blue? I mean, comic book accuracy, I guess. I mean, during those days, the inking wasn't that good. Every time they try to like paint anything black, it always ends up kind of blue. So that's the only thing I could think of because obviously Tony doesn't have blue hair, but you could definitely tell that's what they were trying to kind of go for because you do see some black here and there. It's pretty interesting. It's weird how the head sculpt it's a little bit on the sloppy side, but like it's also pretty good at the same time. Not because of the face, but obviously because it tries to capture that whole comic book feel. And then of course he does come with a stand, which ooh, haven't seen that in a while. And it got like the classic Marvel Legends logo, and that's the classic one too. That's the Toy Biz one. And then we got just the logo, but in reverse. So yeah, I mean, let's have fun with this figure. Let's go. Now that we got good old Tony here, let's take a look and let's take out his hands. Oh, there we go. A little bit of a struggle, just a tiny bit. The only bad thing about the shooting hands or whatever they're called, they're not articulated. They're like they don't got like that thing where you could kind of move it around. It's just kind of like a straight pew. So it's like that kind of it does suck a little bit, especially considering that some Iron Man figures the hands is a bit articulated. So unfortunately, he is kind of stuck in that pose. So if you want, you could do one of two. You could do one of two things actually. When it comes to the blast effect pieces, you can either put it on his hand, or hear me out, guys, hear me out. Or if you want, you can even put it under his feet. So that way, when he's flying, if you wanted to, you could definitely make him do that if you want to. But obviously, you're gonna need like something to hold on to him. That's the only bad thing about it. They don't really have anything like that. But it is what it is, I guess. And then, of course, you have the smoke effect pieces. And I guess you can pretty much do whatever you want with them. You can either wrap it around their feet, well, or wrap it around their arms. And most of the promotional pictures I've seen, they always have him with these on his hands. So I guess that's what I mostly do. It does take a little bit of work, though. You got to kind of remove his hands to really want to put the blast effect pieces in there. So this is what I usually do. That's kind of my way of doing it. You know, it looks kind of weird, but once you put the effect pieces on there, it doesn't look too bad. Like I say, this is only optional. You don't really have to do this if you wanted to. You could make it out however you want. I just thought I'd show you guys just to get an idea, because that's usually how I pose them on my shelf. I always pose them with both effect pieces because I really don't like to see those go to waste. Even though I do think the smoke effect pieces is a little bit weird, and mind you, with most Iron Man figures, they don't really come with a smoke effect. They just mostly come with the blast piece, and then that's about it. Also forgot to compliment that it is a nice translucent plastic, although they are a little bit on the warp side, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm trying to show you the tip. If I can, I guess my camera does want to show you guys the tip. Okay, let me see. You guys get the point. Yeah, it's a little bit on the pointy side. You can kind of see it's a little bit warped. Okay, there we go. After so many attempts, now you could kind of see how it is. And it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like if it gets super warped, it gets like destroyed or anything. You can always kind of fix it. Let me just. No, it doesn't work like that. Just kind of wondering, you know. I don't know. It's just out of plain curiosity. Okay, here we go again. See his hand. We just gotta kind of pop it in there, or at least try. There we go. And then here we go. All right, now you got Iron Man getting ready to blast the enemies. You know, fighting against Ironmonger, Controller, whatever type of weird, crazy Iron Man villains you could think of. I don't know. There you go. He's not. It's slightly a little bit on the top heavy side. You do kind of gotta pose him around a little bit for it to work, but when it works, it does look pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you could pretty much do how you can even make him like do that if you want. Like he's ready to fly. He's like, whew, he's like, whoop, just kind of. There we go. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can because I really want to get to the other accessories too. There you go. You see, you can even make him do that if you want, or the opposite. You can put on his feet. You know what? Let's do that real quick too. The only bad thing is I gotta do this, and you know, kind of. There you go. It's not too much of a struggle, but just get a little bit annoying sometimes. Just sometimes. Come on. I still gotta go over the head. There we go. And you know, we gotta take this out. And you know, so let's kinda, I guess if you want to, yeah, you kinda good. You kinda can wrap it around. It's like if you want to, so you can kinda give you a good idea how it looks. It doesn't look perfect, but you just kinda get an idea. I'm not gonna do it to the other one because it does look kind of stupid. Because I've seen it work well on other figures like Ironheart and all that, but with this Iron Man, it does look kind of weird. So if you want, just put the blast effect pieces, and I don't think it's really gonna hurt anyone. I mean, it looks okay. There you go. So he's like, all right, Avengers, assemble. You know, you got that kind of vibe going on. Anyway, let me not be cringe, and let's just get to the head sculpt. See how it kind of looks. That was easy. Okay, now it's not easy. All right, it does require a tiny bit of strength. I'm starting to see why this figure costs like $30. And before anyone says, "Wow, that's pretty expensive," and it's like, I mean, it is an anniversary figure. You know, it's not your average Marvel Legends. There we go. Woo! Wow, that's required a lot of strength there. Wow, I'm surprised I didn't break the figure doing that. And it looks okay. I mean, it looks good, but like, I don't know. It looks like you want to pose him with the helmet. That's what I'm trying to say. He looks great, but I rather have him with his helmet anyway. And if you wanted to, you could definitely do that, pose him with it. But I mean, because those specific hands are not articulated, they're going to be stuck in that pose. So unfortunately, yeah, you can't really make that happen no matter You know what I mean? It's just not gonna work, so it's just not worth it, unfortunately. So of course, let's get to his final two accessories, which that's the one that I'm very excited to talk about. Here, let me just kind of leave him be. I don't know, shoot someone. I don't know. Let me leave that to the side. And if we go with his, oh great, now he doesn't want to stand. Come on now, stay, stay. Good. All right. Anyway, let's take a look. His other two accessories, the stand. Ooh, that's a nice stand. Got pegs. Of course, you got this little thing right here. Where we got the artwork. Not really. It's a picture of one of the comics. You can see that's the. Okay, great. So you see, I'm guessing the figure it's based off of that suit of Iron Man. That's what I'm assuming because you can see how they're all kind of the same but slightly different. That's what I'm talking about. You know, the all-new Iron Man. It looks cool though. And then of course to the back of it we got the Stark building. Oh. And there's a little bit of a history behind this, but I'll go over that in a bit. So of course basically what you do, you're gonna insert it or slide it in. It really doesn't matter. Get this buddy in, and then we just kind of peg them in there if you want, you know. Oh, there we go. Gonna take a little bit of time, but once you get it in, all right, looks pretty good. All right. So basically what happened is that with the original Toy Biz figures, how they used to do it is that they always came with a comic book. But obviously because, you know, times has changed and then costs, you know, vary. Obviously these newer figures don't come with that. They just come with like a little picture in a stand. And then of course if you want, you know, you could kind of do that. Only these 20th anniversary figures come with these stands though, you know. And what's funny is that the original version of this figure, he came with like a whole kind of thing that says Stark on it and all that, and you know, and obviously depending on your preference, you might find that better than this, but it's alright for what it is. I can't complain. I could definitely see what they were going for. And plus, since the foundations of everything has changed over the years, you know, I can definitely see why they couldn't just add a comic book to it. I get it, you know, that's like a whole other ballpark on its own, but all in all, there you go, you guys. That's the complete set right there. All right, real quickly with the size comparison, here he is next to the zombie Iron Man, you know, and wow, almost the same height. That's cool. And Zion Red Skull from the MCU. I mean, they're both from the MCU, but you get the idea. And of course, both of those figures are part of the Khonshu wave. So yeah, just pretty cool to kind of see how they look, you know. And then Venom. I don't know. Whatever. Venom. All in all, this is a really cool Iron Man figure. I mean, it's great. Has that classic look. I mean, does it live up to the expectations of the original Toy Biz figure? You know, I mean, that's like I said, that's a bit up to date. I know people got their preferences. For me, I definitely give it a go. I mean, go ahead, buy it. You know, it's really cool. I give it a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, it has problems, but none of it should really interfere with how the figure looks. So yeah, pretty solid, and I do like those effect pieces a lot. You know, so hopefully the next review should be Mighty Thor. I know I kind of change it from time to time, so we'll see how that goes. Oops. uh, Stark, you good, man? He's tired. I got you. I'm tired too. So until then, hope you guys enjoyed the toy review. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.